Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hey, a couple of weeks ago I posted a question on LinkedIn about where problem solving actually starts. Is it the current state? Is it the future state? That's what we're here to find out.
Okay, so let's get started. A couple weeks ago, I posted a question on LinkedIn. Where does problem solving start? Does it start in the current state of a process or in the future state of a process under some type of a continuous improvement initiative or project? Okay, so let's get started. So when and where does problem solving begin? Well, that could depend on whether you're improving a process or fixing a process. But I do want to start with fixing a process first. So where does problem solving start in this type of project? Well, should start in the current state. Typically, whenever there is a fixing or a problem solving or a CAPA, customer complaint, or a defect in the process that you're trying to correct, normally there's what I call very specific and required specifications, or what the slide calls CTQs, critical to quality characteristics. That kind of will point us back to the process in question. And that's going to be the obvious place to start. And there's a bunch of tools there, but we're going to kind of keep this discussion high level. Now, when we go back to the process, you'll see that question come up underneath the process flow diagram there. What is Six Sigma? And then you see the Y as a function of X under the output distribution, which suggests what factors or behaviors are most influential to the output of this process. In this particular example, Six Sigma is a wonderful framework to address fixing defects, customer issues, those kind of things, because anything along that process could be a potential bad actor, if you will, when it influences what I would call an underperforming process. Okay, so let's talk about improving a process. Where does problem solving begin when we're improving a process? Well, I suggest the future state. Why is that? We mainly have a directional or aspirational goal when it comes to continuous improvement. Let's peel this onion back, shall we? So I'm going to bring in the 5 core lean principles, which is identify customer value, map the value stream, create flow, establish pull, seek perfection. Now, in the interest of time, the scope of this conversation, we're going to say that the customer value has already been defined. So the next step then would be, let's map the value stream to see how value is delivered or created and delivered. And when we do that, we finish off with what I call value flow analysis. And that basically assigns each step, whether it is non-value added, business value added, or customer value added. Customer value add suggests that the customer would pay for that particular activity. That activity is done right the first time. Customers, I don't think, would buy into rework per se. And the last customer value added definition here is that whatever's going through the process is physically transforming to the finished output that the process customer is going to receive. The next thing we're going to do is what's called create flow. We're going to create flow to stir up some trouble. We're going to bring down the green steps, which is the customer value added steps, and we're going to create some flow. Okay? So here we go. We don't want to take the business value added steps and put them in the critical path, but we do want to build them in parallel. Now, business value added steps are steps or activities that cannot be discontinued. They are required by your industry's legal or regulatory requirements. So what you see here is what's called a future state concept. Now that's just a concept that might be on paper, on computer. That's kind of our thought model for what the future state might be. Now the problem is that how do we get to this future state concept and render that concept into what I would call a prototype, or manifesting that concept into reality? You know, how many desks are there? How many computers? So we're looking at a way to create reality off of the idea or the concept. And again, that's going to render itself as a prototype for that process. When I say prototype, that means we have a process and a physical manifestation that can be tested against the aspired goal for the business. Okay? So I'm going to kind of leave that here. Now, there's a lot of questions that you probably have in the back of your mind. Go ahead and drop those in the comments. And let me just summarize what we just went through. So the current state, we have what is Six Sigma. We're trying to fix a process because it has specific output requirements. Future state, what is Lean, has more directional. We don't really need to fix anything, so there really isn't a lot of need to spend a lot of time in the current state trying to fix the current state. So we want to pivot forward and put our energy in the future state, if that makes sense. Oh my gosh, what just happened? We got that 95% number that just dropped out of the sky. What do I mean by that? Well, my personal experience, 95 or more % of the projects I've seen in my career have been of this directional genre of continuous improvement projects. If you're using Lean Six Sigma on a lean type improvement project where more is better, less is better, that may give you some unintended consequences. Okay, so I hope that actually created more questions for you than any answers, but please comment, reach out, contact us, and we will see you in the next video. And if you want me to break down any of these topics that you saw today, I would love to do that. Just let me know, let me hear from you, and we'll do that. Okay, well, thank you everybody. Hit that subscribe and like button, and we'll see you next time.